Hey, it's David Wilson, Managing Principal of FundUuP, for this segment of Ask the Funder. So this is where I answer questions that come in from the business community, small business owners who want more information about how the funding works, how the industry works, what options are available for them, and I put it out to the public. So you have answers to all these questions. You can send in questions always for the Ask the Funder segment to us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and maybe your question will be featured on the next Ask the Funder segment. So what I want to talk about, I want to talk about the industry, and then we'll get to the question, because the industry really is driving this question. This question comes in a few different forms. First, let me say that there's no shortage of companies out there that do what I do, that do what we do here at FundUuP. All you have to do is Google it. So you Google something like business funding, and you're going to get all of these ads from, some of them are very large national companies. You're going to get results from all over. All kinds of different types of companies. Some do what they say they're going to do, some don't. Ultimately, I want to give you the information you need to have so you can make the best decision for yourself. And I'm going to do that by answering this question. So sometimes the question has come in the form of, so why should I work with your company as opposed to one of the other companies? Why should I work with someone who I have direct contact with, an actual person, as opposed to just doing everything online? Because there are companies, you can go out there, if you Google and you find the right company, you don't ever have to speak to a person. You can get answers to all of your questions via text, via email. You can submit documents, and you'll never speak to anyone, and you can get funded that way. So you can get the result you want. The end result is a funding. You can get it that way without a doubt. The answer to the question, do you have to work with someone like me, is no, you don't. You don't. You don't need me until you need me. So again, I'm just going to give you information, and you make the decision for yourself. So why should I work with someone like David Wilson at FundUuP versus just doing it all online and working with some of these larger companies and stuff? And really, the answer to that question: protection, representation, security, and knowledge. That's the answer. Number one, you know where all your information is going. When you are, a lot of these, unfortunately, the barriers to entry into this, into the brokerage side of this business, the barriers to entry are very low. So all it takes is a cell phone and a website a lot of times, and now you're in business. And if the website is convincing enough and it lures you in, I'm not saying everyone in our industry is like this. Everyone isn't. But anyone who's reputable in our industry will tell you that there are disreputable people in the industry. They will absolutely tell you that. Absolutely. There are people out there who take information and steal it. There are people out there who don't do what they say they're going to do. there are companies out there who hide things in agreements that is very much not in the best interest of the client. The one of the protection piece when working with me is that I am representing the client. I'm not representing the company. If we're funding it in-house, that's a different story. But larger deals that we send out to our funding partners, our job is to find the best possible scenario for our client. That's it. So because I've been in this industry for as long as I have, since it started, since it was building in the early 06, 07, 08, I know I can almost always tell based on what a deal looks like, who will fund it, because I know all of the major players in the industry. So I know all of those people who came up in that Google search. So that's the expertise. But I also know of people, companies you'll never find in that Google search. Why? Because they don't want to be found. They don't want to be found by you. They want to be found by me. So when I work with them and there's maybe a challenging deal or something that's a little sketchy about a particular client. So I mean, sketchy is a credit issue, something that can be explained, something that can be worked through. A lot of times I'll just pick up the phone and I'll call the cell phone of the principal of the company, because I have that information. And most of my competitors, the others in the industry, they don't have that information. They don't need it. They can't get it. And they don't have the relationships with the other funders like we do. And that's very important. Again, in the beginning, I said you don't need to work with someone like me, someone like me, until you need to. Here's when you need to. When you submit your application and you're getting phone calls from numbers you don't represent, from people saying, "Oh, I see you're looking for funding. I'm calling. I'm your funder. I need this, and you're being bombarded with a whole bunch of calls. That doesn't happen when working with FundUuP. So we're not going to flood the market with all of your paperwork and have a whole bunch of people. It's called losing control of the deal, and that's a sign of inexperience. Number one. Number two, it's a sign that something can happen to your information, something can happen to your data, and you don't want that to happen. You also want to know who you're dealing with. So when you're working with FundUuP, you're going to get phone calls from funders. If we're not funding it ourselves in-house, you're going to get phone calls. There's going to be communication, but we're going to let you know who's communicating with you. We're going to let you know who's going to be calling you and why. And we're always going to be there, again, representing you. Representing you. We're gonna be the ones to answer questions you may have, clear things up that come from the funder that maybe you don't understand. This doesn't happen when you go it alone. Yes, you can go it alone. You can get this all by yourself online, just like you can a mortgage, just like you can insurance, just like you can just about anything else. Until you need someone like your insurance agent, someone like your mortgage rep, someone like me to come in and help. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So that's the information you probably don't have. The ability to explain what's in the agreement, how it reads, what it means, what it means to you, what it means to you if something goes wrong. You also have someone representing you to make sure you actually get funded. You get funded the amount. You know, I had an example. There was someone, and he came to me too late. It was a company that had been funded by five different companies, all on the same day. And he thought he was providing information to the company he contacted first. And he was, but what ended up happening, he kept getting all these calls. Yeah, well, we just need to make sure, we need to verify. And a lot of times these calls come in as your funder. This is your funder. This is underwriting. And it gets very confusing. So you're trying to run a business. You're trying to run maybe a household. And you're getting all these calls on your cell phone. It gets confusing. It gets very confusing. And you start saying yes because you think you're getting funded, and you're probably in need of the funding, but you're saying yes to the wrong people because you don't have someone who is representing you. Now, I'm not the only one in the industry that can do this for you. So whether you go with FundUuP or you go with someone else who's going to represent you, who has that expertise, who knows how the system works, who knows what to listen for when things are going well and knows what to listen for when things are not, who understands how the deal is supposed to be moving, how quickly things are supposed to happen, when things are going south. If you want that, find someone like myself and FundUuP. If you don't, I'm not going to flippantly say, well, good luck, you're on your own. I'm not going to say it like that because there are way more good guys than bad guys out there. But we know who most of them are, and we know when a deal doesn't look right, when a company doesn't look right. We know that, and that's how we can help. So that is a very long answer to that question. Do I have to work with you? Do I need someone like you? Why can't I just go online? You absolutely can. You don't need someone like me until you need someone like me. In any case, we're here to help. We're here to help with our Ask the Funder playlist that's on our Facebook page at FundUuP, our FundUuP Facebook page. You can go to listen to all of the Ask the Funders that we've done, give you information. It's all free. You can learn about the industry. You'll hear this once it's posted, and that's it. Ultimately, we want to help keep this economy moving. We want to help the small businesses nationwide get the funding they need if they can't get it through traditional means. I didn't want this to be an ad for FundUuP. This is not an ad for FundUuP. This is, if it's an ad, it's an ad for those of us in the industry who are representing the client and who are not just trying to get paid when something funds. We will ensure that, and people like me will ensure that we put the right deal in place for the client, and we walk with them through the entire process to make sure it goes well. Sometimes it doesn't go well, but we're there to help. We're there to fix. We're there to answer questions. A lot of times we're there to comfort because it may be a very stressful situation. But in any case, whether if you decide not to go with FundUuP, go with someone like us. So thanks for watching. David Wilson, Managing Principal of FundUuP, Ask the Funder. We'll see you next time.